Hell yeah. Love to see it. How we doing? Sorry, I needed to grab water, quickly grab a snack. Now you have to get a 1. Play some Ark. With that might be able to make some progress. Hell yeah. Okay, I have my ears. I have my ears. How we doing? Welcome, welcome. Sorry, I'll try and keep the eating noises as low key as possible. I just realized I hadn't eaten anything before I started, so I needed to quickly wolf something down. How are we doing? How's the day been so far? Eating is natural. It is. It is. No excuse to eat into the microphone, though. Very rude. Playing with a really hard mod on. Also on a pretty unforgiving map as well. Is it intended as a challenge mode? Treat it as background noise. I know for some people eating noises are like the worst thing ever. So I'll try and keep it to a minimum. Yes? Cool. Cool. Okay. Food, digesting, good to go. You've played for about an hour and you've died like 20 times. Oof. Fire on the click draw, good lord. Fire, did you use Megatron as a gun? Fire, did you use Megatron as a gun? Is that why you were so quick? Obviously, yeah, fair. Freaking knew it. I knew it. Knew it as soon as I saw the result. How we doing? Congratulations, Slink, Fire, Pretender, first, second, and third, respectively. We're trying something new with the desk layout today. The monitor on the right, I've rotated so that I can see it without having to like crane my neck over to another continent, which is hopefully going to help. We'll see. Doing a bunch of new stuff. Ugh. But otherwise, time to say goodbye to terrible lines. Goodbye, terrible lines. Hello, good lines. Hopefully. We've done blue, we've done red, we've done green. Let's do some pink lines. Hell yeah. Okay. What are we up to today? Other than drawing lines, obviously. Help. You're more sick than you were yesterday. So when you saw I wasn't just chatting, that you were hallucinating. Yeah. No, I've decided to start in just chatting for a little bit because people recommend that, especially when you're just starting up the stream and you're waiting for people to come in, and you're just shooting the hoops or whatever. But you know. Apparently it's a good habit to get into because just chatting is like slightly less saturated than the art category. I don't know how these things work. You're scared. You see a literal demon dodo in front of you. Help. You're fine. You're fine. What can a demon dodo do to you that a dinosaur can't? You know? What are you going to be more afraid of? A demon dodo or a velociraptor? Honestly. Okay, alright, let's try that again. Let's do our actual first line for real. Actual first line for real. Get our chair in position. Immaculate posture. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. Okay, alright. Oh, these are awful. These are awful first lines. That's okay. That's okay. Recovery. A little bit better. Summon explosives from the heavens. I mean, yeah, if it does the job. Your brain does not have the energy to comprehend, so you're just going to nod and say, uh-huh. That's tough. That is tough. Have you tried telling the sickness to piss off? I tend to find it doesn't work, but it's satisfying to say out loud. Piss off, sickness. Hep, no, hep, oop, hep, 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 more. Okay, right. That one was awful. Breathe in now, breathe out. Hands up, hands down. Tell me what you're going to do now. Yeah, exactly. I'm going to hep. You know that song that goes something funkity beat? That one. Just replace all of the lyrics with hep, and it... Oh, that's my brain right now. I need all the hep I can get. Hi, Bolitza. How you doing? Good morning. Good evening. Good morning, good evening, and good night. Good morning. Yeah. What's the classic? Your immune system is usually impenetrable, but this has been an absolute sucker punch. Can't tell if this sickness is extra strong or you just haven't been sick in so long that you feel worse than it is. I don't think it's ever a case of like feel worse than it is, you know. I get what you mean. You haven't been laid out like that in ages, so as soon as you do get punched in the schnoz by an illness, you're like, ugh. I would hesitate to use the term worse than it is, because then it kind of places a bit of blame on you, which I don't like the premise of. Like, oh, maybe I'm being a baby about it. No, I don't believe that to be the case. Especially knowing how hearty you usually are, Fire. I very much doubt that that's the case. What am I going to work on today? I'm going to finish this scene study that I started yesterday, is the plan. I'm not going to be starting a new painting, like actual painting, until I've completed my most recent commission, because I'm creatively spent. I'm creatively spent for a little bit, so I just want to practice while I'm in this bit of funk anyway. Get a bit of good out of it. About your character? Of course. 9! Of course. Oh my god. That's been the story of today so far. Bolisher, you absolute legend. That's the second 20 that we've had so far on the stream. It's been 8s and 9s, and then I rolled a 19, and then 8s and 9s, and then Slinky rolled a 20. and then another 9 from shiny, and then a 20 from Bolicha. It's either mid or through the roof. I don't understand. Do not understand the whims of probability. I know, that's the entire thing, is that you're not supposed to... I'm trying to look for reasoning where probability goes, nah, there's none, it's random, haha, teehee. Whatever. Ooh, the 19. Hell yes. You've spent quite a few days in the pit recently, Fire, so may as well put your feet up and rest in the tavern for a little bit. You can't work all the time. How relevant to your current standing? Kind of dumb, but you've been fighting in your head between probability and statistics to understand it. Mm-hmm. As in, yeah. Probability is the random thing. So, if you determine that something can be between 1 and 10, probability kind of just rolls a random number between the, like, within that range. Statistics is kind of more that trending thing where you go like, oh, okay, I see like an upward trend, which means my statistics have like an upward trajectory. Like, for example, we've been seeing more and more people in the pit as of recently. You can nominate that as a statistical trend, and then you start trying to analyze it. You go, okay, well, is it because probability is just, it just sucks? They're just more likely for people to end up in the pit? Or do you delve a little bit deeper into the statistics and go, actually, no, I think it's because people are rolling multiple times. And if you keep rolling, you'll eventually end up in the pit. So probability is like the random thing. Statistics are like the numbers that you end up with, and you can do a little bit of analysis on the statistical side of things. Probability helps with that, but they're not one and the same. They're not one and the same. Ooh, lucky number 7. So a probabilistic analysis might be something along the lines of there's a 10% chance that this thing might happen. That's kind of the analysis of probability. If that thing happens or if that thing doesn't happen, it doesn't change that probabilistic chance. It just means that the 10% occurred or the 90% occurred, and that's kind of the be-all end-all of the probability side of things. The statistical analysis might be like, hello, Ghoulie, with the it's been 8 months. My God, thank you for the sub. Thank you for the resub. 8 months. 8 months. Hell yeah. How you doing? How's your day been? How am I today? Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I'm chuffed. Let's see. It's been 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's been 9 streams in a row where we've more or less started on time. Doing pretty good. Going well? Glad to hear it. How are you feeling after your big rest? Pulls your rocking chair that is one side too big for you next to the tavern fireplace. You grunt as you get into it as a wad of scarves as a blanket. Ask for the bartender for the biggest mug of fizzy vodka, and you get crocheting, grumbling and sniffling the entire time. Deary dear. That's okay. I'll secretly, without you knowing, smuggle a bowl of soup onto your little side table as well. secrets. It's been a good week. Rest helped a ton. Good. That tends to be the case. Whenever I hear something along the lines of, I don't have time to rest, I go, I get it. I get it. I have that mindset a lot. But I also have the benefit of not being the person in that position at that point in time. I'm talking to... I give pretty okay advice when it's not to myself. If it's advice to myself, oh God, I'm the worst. Harley, you could never rest. For there are more endeavors to embark on. There are more tasks that require your attention. Blah, 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 blah. But as soon as it's somebody else... Because it's true. If you rest, you become more productive. You literally lose nothing. All of that time that you're quote unquote losing by resting, you're gaining it back in productivity because you can think and you can work with a clear head and you're actually doing stuff. Everybody knows this. Literally everybody knows this. With both annoyance and gratefulness. Oh. It happened. It finally happened. Not only did we get the first pit roll, it was a natural one. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. How you doing, Billy? How you doing down there? Did it work today? It did. It did. The check-in worked. I'm curious about the camera as well. Camera's working. Camera's working. Everything's working. It might be that it was out of date then. Might be. We'll see. We'll check. Oh, actually, frick. I forgot to do that. Oh, God. Forgot to push button. Let's have a look. How are we doing, Stream Manager? Pre-rolls are on. Frick. Okay. In about 5 minutes, I'll need to run first round of ads because I forgot to run them during the startup. My bad. My apologies. But then they shouldn't play for another hour. Thank you for the reminder, Fire. I appreciate it. Hep. Hep. Hip. Hip. Wanted to set up auto, but Harley didn't trust you. No, Billy's advice to me with setting up auto was, hey, make Twitch do the auto ads. This is the same Twitch auto ads that was running the ads at the incorrect times every half hour. So I didn't not trust Billy. I didn't trust Twitch because Twitch has burnt all of its trust. Another alternative as well. Oh, the alternative that I had used earlier in the week and wasn't working. Updated. Yes, but we didn't have that piece of proof. I'll give it another go tomorrow, but if it doesn't work again, I'll have to switch it back to manual. Trust the system. I trusted the system and it malfunctioned yesterday. I don't trust technology. Frick robots. Never disappointed. Never disappointed. Actually, how does that work? Because the meme is usually I'm not upset, I'm just disappointed. What's the opposite of that? I'm not disappointed, I'm just extremely disappointed. Don't trust it for ads and replace the ad run with an ad reminder. Yeah, that's fair. Oh god, I need to, speaking of reminders, I need to remind myself to add the pre-roll widget and stuff to OBS so I can see when pre-rolls have turned off. Because it means the person has given up and it's no longer invested. True. Oh god, that's some emotional blackmail right there. Just be glad that I'm still invested. God, that's awful. Okay, we have our lines. We save these. We run a quick set of ads. My apologies. But then when we're through that, we should be back to business as usual. Okay. I'll BRB. Okay, running a quick stint of ads just to get the pre-rolls turned off, and then I'll see you in a bit. Okay. For those willing to stick it out, I very much appreciate it. Thank you very much. I'll see you soon. Okay, there we go. Then we'll switch over our category. Now that we're finished with our lines. We should be good. You're incapable of giving up on this stuff. I don't know. I'm very quick to give up trust on something. If let's see, if Twitch lets me down across a week of streaming, I'm incredibly unlikely to put my trust in them running any of my stuff ever again. My patience with automated systems is through the floor. It's because it's specifically to do with ads as well. The fact that it has such an adverse effect when it doesn't work is the thing that's really, truly annoying. Immediately, your brain went to the powered stuff in Coca-Cola. No, you're good. There was a candy. I'm sure it still is a candy. I just don't have my finger on the pulse nowadays of candied goods. There's a candy in Australia called Whiz Fizz, where it's literally just a bag of powdered sherbet, like sherbet powder. The idea of somebody snorting Whiz Fizz is maybe the worst thing ever. Twitch no longer loves you. You got the full ad experience just then. Where is your Twitch now? Welcome back. Sorry for the kerfuffle. As I said, this will have it turned off for the next hour, so no more ads for an hour, I promise. I needed to run it because if I didn't, pre-rolls would be active for... Hello? Fire with the gifted sub to Billy. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. A gift. Here you go, Billy. Here's a sub. Don't eat it all at once. Okay. I can make the building. I can do it. I can do it. I've made building in the past. I can do it again. As a change of pace, Fire has decided to be a gremlin. Maybe you're more grumpy and cranky. No, those are dwarves. Oh God, could you imagine? Oh yes. Okay, so Snow White, she's running through this forest. She's like, oh God, the forest is out to get me. All these trees look scary. They're like grabbing at my cloak, and like the animals are all terrifying and stuff. Oh my goodness, what a quaint little cottage that I found. Okay, let's approach. We'll see if anybody's home. I'm looking for an abode, and this seems to be the perfect location. A rap-a-tap-tap. Hello, it's me, it's Snow White. How's it going? Is there anybody home? And then you hear 7 little voices come through from the other side of the door. Yeah, frick you, we're home. The door opens up. You have cranky, grumpy, angry, upsetty, spaghetti, and just all 7 of them are just furious. Oh God, it'd be so good. As a lovely change of pace. Furious. Oh dearie dear. Pissy, gritty, snippety, and snappety. Yeah, yep. Oh God, should be out of there in a week. Not because they throw her out, just because she's sick of their attitude. 5 minutes. I want 5 minutes without somebody complaining about something. Is that so much to ask? Answer, yes, apparently. Now accepting the headcanon that Rossetti from Animal Crossing is one of the 7 moles. Oh God, I mean, he was unnaturally upset at the main character of Animal Crossing. It's true. You need a way for the Voidborn to be made. Maybe not a black hole. It's really itching you. Well, as I said before, PB, you don't necessarily need an origin story. You don't need an origin story. If it's, if you're failing to come up with, if it's not coming to you, a concept for how they come about, it could just be that they're an anomaly, that they just exist and it's weird. The example that I'll always give is the Watcher in the Dark, which is the big, octopus monster in Lord of the Rings. That just exists and nobody knows where it came from. they have theories. They're like, maybe it came from underneath Moria, but nobody knows. You could totally have the same thing with Voidborn. You could be like, hey, they're just these strange things that exist in nature. Did you know that there are creatures like that in real life as well? There are creatures where scientists are like, we have no idea how these creatures procreate. We've got no idea. We assume that it's eggs or something, but we've never seen it. They're super rare species. They live in a climate that we can't really study, and we just don't know. It's rare. It doesn't happen often, but it does still happen. Eels, yeah, exactly. Scientists are just like, I don't know, man. It's just eggs. The reason why I keep coming back to this as my suggestion is because it's, especially if you want them to be scary creatures, PB, the less you know about them, the better. Because if you provide all of the knowledge as to why they exist, the more you understand about something, the less scary you find it. Sounds like some nurses you work with, except the idea that you don't know how they graduated and you're pretty sure where you're graduated from is an absolute mystery. I mean, you telling me that it's... Are you telling me that it doesn't make sense to you that somebody could go through that amount of schooling and still have no idea what's going on? Because that makes perfect sense to me. I learn new things every day and I've got no idea what's going on. I fear that my goading comments have led to Fire now typing out something extensive. Fire, if that is the case, I sincerely apologize. It was a meme. It was a meme. It was just a prank, bro. The Voidborn could have an alternate name. The Unraveled. Ooh, I do like that. It's why Jaws works so well. The less you know, the brain fills in the gaps with things that custom fit what kind of individual feels the most frightening. Exactly. Exactly. Too sick to know what I memed. Lucky today. Okay. I'll count that as a win in my book. But yeah, it's why the creature from it becomes less scary the more that the kids research and find out about it. It's why it's so initially terrifying, is because it seems to just exist. And it's like, oh my God, this thing is awful. Like, how do we even begin to confront something like this? It's why the first Alien movie is so effective, is because nobody has any idea what the frick is going on. You get this sense of like, oh, the egg to the face hugger to the person incubate, make an alien come. It's growing really quick. Acid, and they're like super huge, like 8 foot to what? Filled with question marks. And then the more that the alien movies kind of explained where they came from, how they work, the less scary the alien becomes. The more that you see the alien, the less scary the alien becomes. This little bit here is a little bit darker. This whole building is darker, but I'm so hesitant to add the darkness. Always so hesitant to crank up the contrast. It could also be the case, PB, that you know how they've come about, but you don't tell anyone. It's less satisfying because then you kind of have to sit on a secret. But if it's bothering you that you don't know how they've come about, it could totally be the case that you figure it out for yourself, how you'd like them to have come about, but you just don't share it because, as I said, the illusion breaks, the mystery, the interest, the like, oh, how did that? Oh, fascinating. All of that fascination goes up in a puff of smoke as soon as you're like, they're a dinosaur. They were born from an egg. They procreate in the usual way. They live here. This is how they behave. This is what they eat. As soon as you explain everything, then there's no mystery. There's no like, oh, what are these things? You know. Sharing is caring. I do think that was actually the narrative of the first Alien movie, was that the alien was just going around sharing with everyone. Like, oh God, it's in the vents. It's gonna share with me any second. Any second. I've been shared with. You could write a public bit of info and then have this is what I think as a spoiler section in Discord. Yeah. What you're thinking is that from these ideas from Billy is that when a husk gets absorbed and turns into a bush, they genetically get stronger and all the bushes get the genetic code, like a hive mind, but for genetics, if that makes sense. As in each time they enter a new phase, all of them become strong. Okay. Sure. Interesting fact, the guy that wrote Alien released that men being overpowered and violated and impregnated was an untapped horror genre. If you remember correctly, women aren't as disturbed by the concept because that happens to them constantly. Fair. Fair, yeah. I do think I've heard that piece of trivia before. I do think I have heard of it before. I mean, it makes sense. Fear of the unknown, you know? 'Voidborn hate sunlight because they see it as unholy, so the bushes start growing above land and gain genetic knowledge that the sun doesn't hurt them. Sun as in the stars. Well, if the Voidborn are so terrified of the sun, I would almost be inclined to kind of build in the opposite direction, where I'd have the Voidborn be underground to avoid the sun completely. You could even have it where if you're wanting this this sort of like flora element to it, where these bushes are kind of part of the life cycle, you could have them like grow upside down from the roof. Like that could be interesting. That way it kind of speaks to the fact that they've laid roots in the ground, but because they're so against the light, they're sort of growing in the opposite direction. Have the visual in mind as 3 void figures corner your party in your group. Watch as they slowly move, moving and hunched postures snap upright and to attention. All 3 now starting off to the right of you without warning. They all race away out of sight. Something has taken their attention. Very much so like the that hive mind kind of that visual. Yeah. Concept is that Voidborn are from the underground. Void is in lightless. The Voidborn are, well, born in the void. For sure. It just doesn't quite mesh in my head to have them be scared of the light, but then also have them interacting with the light, because then it kind of gets rid of their weakness, you know? And the cool thing is that they are afraid of the light, you know? Gives them a bit more pizzazz. It's impossible for you to progress in this? Even with your 20? They learn millions of eons later that the sun isn't dangerous. I would recommend that you don't go in that direction though, because it's interesting that they fear the sun. Why get rid of it? Because then they just don't have a weakness, you know? And then they're just like invincible superpowered things, you know? You get one shot by most things. Is it because you've entered like a too difficult area? Back to work for now? Good luck, Billy. You got this. You got this. What's up, bozo? Oh, you know, clown things. How you doing, Fields? How's your day been? I can see that I could see that it's supposed to be darker. I could see that it's supposed to be darker. I could see that it's supposed to be darker, and I'm still not freaking doing it. I'm so hesitant, like, oh no. It's too dark, apparently. Cowardice. Cowardice in my heart. What if darker, What if? What about that? Oh, look at that. It's immediately more accurate. More accurate isn't necessarily better, but I have a sneaking suspicion that increasing contrast will make it look better. Hi alt, how you doing? Make it pink. I can't. That would be my usual go-to, is making it pink. But the problem is that this image is monochromatic. It's all different variations on the tone. Yeah, all different variations on orange. Make it mono pink. True. I could jump into tonal correction, change the hue. Oh, let's make it. Oh, that's a lovely green. Oh, look at that. Look at that. So dreamy. What about layers, jazz hands? Oh, I can't. I've already done all of this on the one layer now. It feels like giving up if I went to layers now. Demonic creatures around like every corner, because some demonic dodos and dinos probably normally easy creatures to kill, but these demonic versions can still spawn where a normal counterpart would. Right, so like a random elite spawn here. Okay, cool. Going off of the situation that Billy made is that an old creature named Old Dwarf Sikol has a Starcatcher and it shines on the Void Vorn. Sure. Stunning. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I think the Christmas sale begins tomorrow for Steam. I have bought so many things this year on Steam because of you, Fields. Because of you. I'm going to blame you because it's fun. I've bought so many things on Steam because of you, because I've seen really cool games and I've been like, oh, you know what? I'll chuck it on my wish list. I'll, see where it goes. And then it'll go on sale for like $4. I'll be like, oh, I've got to get it now. I'm looking at like 3 or 4 games that are now added to the stack that I'll need to play. Oh, I have to play. But God, when do I have the time? Can't believe you've done this to me. You get paid tomorrow? Hell yeah. I have 3 or 4 games that I can recommend to you. As to why you started streaming, to show interesting hidden games. Well, you've succeeded. Ta-da! Yeah. Honestly though, I've picked up. Is it a musical story? The one about the kid in the coma. I picked up Melatonin, I think, which is the like the like pastel color kind of vibey game. And there's one or two more on top of that. Like I probably won't regret the decision, but still, I can feel a snowball forming. I'm gonna have to actually start. Like, I might even have to start playing these on stream to find an opportunity to play them. Which, I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world. Hi Logic, how you doing? 15, hell yeah. Hi June, how you doing? How you been? How's your day? About the new format that you've been mulling over? No, I don't believe so. Not that I can recall. Your husband has a monthly subscription to Humble Bundle for years. His games collection is over 1.2k. It's kind of intimidating. But now that you're in a family plan, you get to try out which ones you like. Aha. Hell yeah. I'm kind of like the family pet, so I should get in on this family plan too, right? No, that's awesome. That is actually a good idea, though, is to bring other people in on your game plan so that you get a bit more mileage out of your library. That's actually sick. I seem jolly. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I've been getting... I was going to say I'm getting decent sleep at the moment. It's not true, though. I woke up so many times last night. Ugh. I'm getting semi-decent sleep, and I'm starting stream on time as of late. So I'm doing pretty good. As your streamer child, perfect. Your to-do list is getting overbearing. You're going to start doing new game each hour type streams? Yeah, okay. Well, the wonderful thing about that format is that it gives you the excuse to keep cycling if you're not feeling a particular game. But at the same time, you're the ruler of your own destiny. And if you are enjoying a video game, there's no rule that states that you have to switch. So if you're feeling something, you can absolutely keep going. But it does mean that inherently you're getting through more. Yeah, no, that's a good idea. You're in a campaign and the DM told you to make the inverse versions of your characters. Don't know why yet. So when I hit, yeah, hit me with it. Hit me with it. I've been planning a campaign for a couple of weeks now. Almost a month now. To the point where people are telling me to shut up about it, and I won't be silenced. So whenever anybody's like, hey, I've got a D&D, my immediate response is, yes, please. It's where my brain currently lives. Have so many that you enjoy, didn't come back to, and so many that you want to at least test out. Yeah. Similarly, I've got a few where I've thought to myself, like, I did pick it up for like $2 that one time, or I picked it up for free that one time, or I was gifted it by somebody, and I really should play it. I should play it at least once, you know. I believe it was a game called Dorfromantik. It's like a super chill tile placing game. I was feeling super sick the other day, and I decided, you know what? I'm not getting work done in my current state. I'm just going to place tiles. And my God, am I glad that I did. Because it helped a ton. It always comes back to work-life balance. Unfortunately, it's like it's one of life's like impossible questions. Like, who was the first conscious human being? You know, how was the universe truly created? Blah blah blah. How to establish a healthy work-life balance? Mysteries of the cosmos. He's suffered enough. It's true. It's true. I had suffered enough at the time. I was delirious. And oh God, I could feel the game pandering to me as well. It was like, Well done. Well done. You've placed 3 tiles. And I was sitting there at my computer like, hooray, I've done it. Yeah. Whoa. Huzzah. I'm being rewarded for my efforts. God, I felt like a giant toddler. But I mean, can't knock it. I was having a good time at the time. I was being appeased. I could feel myself being appeased, but it's okay. It's okay. I don't know. It very much so felt like whenever we have the magma canvas up and going, and it congratulates me for doing 300 strokes of the pen, and it's like, stop, stop it. Top 10 toddler streams. It's true. It's true. Top 10%. I can say with confidence in my heart that this year we have attained top 10% art streamer, top 10% Balan Wonderworld streamer, and most importantly, top 10 toddler streamer. We've done it. The trifecta. Made a gator boy who may or may not be in perpetual pain. Ooh. A bit of chronic pain. Yeah, okay. Never going to stop writing the top balance streamer high am. Nah, absolutely not. I'm going to. those people who like top out in high school, where it's like, I was the captain of the blah 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 club, and I had all these friends, and I was super popular, and I had like a varsity jacket on, and I was crowd surfing, and it's like the best moment of my life, and I'm like riding on that high ever since. Their job sucks. They're having a terrible time, but in their mind they're like, but at least I was I did the footballs, That'll be me, but with Balan Wonderworld. That'll be me with Balan Wonderworld. It's like, oh god, everything sucks, everything's the worst, but top 10% Balan Wonderworld streamer 2025, baby. I have the top 2025 Balan stream. Yeah, exactly. With a smile on my lips and a laugh in my heart. I jaunt down the street with thumbs behind suspenders, a spring in my step, a whistle on the wind, coming for that 2026 trophy. God, could you imagine that being a title that you're tempted to defend? Oh, good lord. It's like the speedrunners that keep coming back to reclaim their speedrunning world record. But it's me farming top numbers in the Balan category. Basically, is a lab rat that was used to experiment with engine hearts that are meant to stimulate the heart to pump and produce blood perpetually. But lo and behold, it caused his blood to boil. Oh, very, very Karlak from Baldur's Gate 3. That's sick. That's awesome. Yeah, I like the idea of like chucking an engine into a creature. That's really cool. Into just like a little guy, and then becoming almost like a homunculus. That's really cool. So sure your tolerance for Balan is far lower than... Probably. I gave Balan Wonderworld all of the patience. And it paid off. It paid off in spades. Approximately revived several times before it finally stabilized. Drawback being that he's in constant pain. I do like me character drawbacks. I do like giving my characters like curses and stuff. So this is very reminiscent of that. I like a lot. Burn all the fields down. Oh God, could you imagine if there was some sort of pyromaniac element to Balan Wonderworld? Already dreading it. Don't even own the game. I've had multiple people. This is shocking. I know. I've had multiple people be like, "Hey, wouldn't it be fun if you 100%ed Balan Wonderworld?" And I've had such a dread reaction. to that recommendation. My life flashed before my eyes. Cold sweat, burning fever. Immediately went into a coma. How many subs? Yeah, absolutely not. Absolutely not. These are to keep him from running away when they feel nice. Just give him a cold pool for him to swim in. It evaporates in 6 minutes. That's fun. I mean, terrible, dreadful, but fun. I like the idea of like playing off of the fact that it's an aquatic creature. Getting a little bit of Shin Godzilla vibes. Oh, yeah. Not a bad thing to be compared to. I mean, bad if you don't want to be Shin Godzilla, but... Dear Diary, I hope I'm not Shin Godzilla today. Frick! Forgot how he got here, but he's genuinely a good guy. He's in constant mortal pain, yes. He'd try to save a child from a burning building, and no, he won't let the child be touched by him in fear that they'd get second-degree burns. Yeah, no, I do like that anguish, because then it gives the character a little bit more, I don't know, like potential character growth. Gary Stu, Mary Sue type of characters, kind of the untouchable superhero characters, are like a little bit fun to play, but narratively incredibly boring to me personally. So I do get a kick out of giving my characters inherent big emotional pitfalls. Gojira. Is that the... I know that was the explanation in the Matthew Broderick. Was it Matthew Broderick? Yeah, the Matthew Broderick, the 2003 Godzilla movie or whatever. Where it's like, oh, in Japan is called Gojira, but then like over here we misheard them and we've called it a Godzilla. Is that the actual meaning for it? Correct pronunciation, you think? Is it? Because I take everything from that movie with a big heaping grain of salt. Big heaping pile of salt. Might make it so that he's a few metal rods sticking out of him. Looks like a Godzilla Godzilla plates for some purpose to act like a heat release from inside of it. Or that, or it could be, you could lean into kind of like that experimented on vibe and give him almost like Frankensteinian neck bolts or something like that would be pretty cool. I know the initial story doesn't actually have Frankenstein's monster with neck bolts. It's something from his first like depiction in a movie, but still, that could be cool. Could be a cool aesthetic to lean into. Hi Fairy, how you doing? 14's not bad. 14's not bad. Chuck a like a +2, +3 modifier on that. It's a good roll. It's a good roll. Love that movie. Don't consider it canon. It's there will always be a special place in my heart for it, specifically because it's my first experience with Godzilla. It's a sad admittance, but at the same time, I don't feel as though it's a unique position that I'm in. I don't think I'm the only one who experienced the 2003 Godzilla movie as their first Godzilla experience. So it'll always have a special place in my heart, and it's got like a cheese factor to it that's quite fun. But yeah, as you've said, non-canon is probably where it will forever sit. His skin won't catch you on fire, but the rods, now you'll burn your hand. Yeah, yep. Because they're heat sinks, right? Ooh, 5 check-ins, hell yeah. Wasn't your first experience, but you like how they turned Godzilla more lizard-like. It's why you've been enjoying the newer American version. Really? Sorry, Logic. Them's the rules. Yeah, that's fair. I liked the 2014 Godzilla movie, the one that everybody hated for whatever reason. The one with was it Elizabeth Olsen, guy who plays Kraven the Hunter and Breaking Bad? Those three, that one. I enjoyed that one quite a bit. I know a lot of people had issue with the fact that like the Godzilla bits were quite short, and they kept cutting away from it. But I found it fun because it kind of spoke to Godzilla being more of a natural disaster more than anything. I kind of hate the new ones, but maybe that's a hot take. Is it a hot take? I kind of hate the new American Godzilla movies where he's just like a big Power Ranger where he goes around like boxing things. I don't like that. I like it when there's an air of mystery and unknowability, and you're just seeing like creatures destroying each other in the wild, and you're like, oh god, I can't go anywhere near that because I'm going to get swept up in it. You're not going to run up to an alligator in a gorilla fighting and be like, oh, check it out, smile for the camera. You're going to be like, heck no, I'm running to the other side of this field. Like the 98 one where he goes to New York. I mean, it's the wonderful thing about having different Godzilla movies, right? Is that you kind of have a little sprinkling of different things for different people. Fizzy pit vodka for my friend Logic. Make it a double. Ooh. Yeah, I'll join in on a cheers for that. I'll forego the vodka, but cheers nonetheless. Didn't like that Godzilla was too slow and heavy. They wanted the old school silly stuff. That's why they changed it in the most recent. Well, that's the thing, is I don't like the silly stuff. I like the oh god, what is this thing stuff. I feel as though they had elements of that in minus zero. The most recent Japanese one. I feel as though they had elements of that where it's just a natural disaster. There are elements of like, oh, it could be this, it might be this, it might have come about because of this, but it's very much so taken as just like this thing is going to be moving through the country and we kind of just have to deal with it because it's a tornado. What are we going to do? Like shoot it with a gun? Well, you super enjoyed the 2008 Godzilla vs. King Kong. Those movies really captured how heavy, slow, powerful, mysterious they were. All the ones after that just don't hit right. That's my feeling on it, is that it just becomes a little bit too Power Ranger-y. And if that's your thing, cool. Like I'm not gonna bash your stuff. It's just not for me, you know. Like the video of every Godzilla organized by height. Yeah. They do it with so many things. They're like, here are all the statues of the world compared by height, and then it starts with a little human, and then it goes, whoa, and it starts zooming out, and it's the Blender file with all of the models all stacked up next to each other. Yeah. Godzilla was made to be a literal allegory to what happened to Hiroshima. It was so bad that it looks like a monster plunged it. Exactly. I like that feeling of just horror. That it's a terrible thing to say out loud, but it's true. I like that element of just like, oh, good Lord, you know? Which I feel like gets stymied a little bit with more of the action kicking things. Romping around in a big suit. That's why you love Shin Godzilla so dang much. It's such an immortal force at absolutely indifference, kind of like Eldritch Horror. Exactly. No, Fields. No. I did not say that. That was not my quote. I said I like the horror of the allegory. Of the allegory. Sad boiling alligator noises. Oh, sorry, bud. Yeah, he's a stinker. What can I say? God, I'm so glad that I don't have a collection of quotes. Oh, good Lord. It'd be clips all over again. I wonder what this here streamer has said in the past. Oh, Jesus. No, I'm not upset. I'm not upset, I promise. My housemate is going to be away for a little bit for a little while. And it feels like that scene from Home Alone where Kevin McAllister's like, I made my family disappear, and then he like starts running around the house. Oh, it's been great. It's been a wonderful couple of hours. They're going to be away for like the whole weekend, so I'm going to run up and down the couple of rooms. I'm gonna watch all sorts of movies that I'm not allowed to. I'm gonna watch like all the scary like mobster ones. I'm gonna eat ice cream on the couch, in a bowl, obviously. It's gonna be sick. It's gonna be awesome. And trap the house. Exactly, Tika. I'm gonna trap the house so that no bad guys can get in. I'll need to remember to take away the traps as soon as my housemate gets back. But I've got a wonderful memory, okay? Famously reliable memory. Ignore the fact that I forgot to run ads at the start of the stream. What should you name your Karlak gator? Montgomery or Goji? Ooh. So Monty would be a reference to, is that the Five Nights at Freddy's gator? And then Goji would be Gojira, obviously. I personally don't like leaning into reference too much, in the sense that, like, if I take inspiration from something, I don't want to be too on the nose. Like, I'll say, hey, it's been inspired by this, but I'll go in a different naming direction. But if you do like reference, if you do like being on the nose with it, if you do like the tip of the hat, then you could spin it a little bit. You could go with like a Monterre. Give it like a little French oubliette or something over the E, like a little accent, Monterre. So it would be like a Monty, but kind of spun. Same with like Goji. It could be like a Gojo or something. Kind of bend it. That way it's an homage, but it's not a full grab, you know? That's the direction that I would take it if I had to do reference. Goje. Could be Goj. There's a character in Warhammer 40k called Goj Vandire. Terrible person, actually, now that I think about it. Don't name your wonderful little guy after Goj Vandire. No, actually, yeah, good idea. Head in the other direction. Ooh, with a 15 as well, Tika. Wonderful traps around the house. Wonderful traps around the house. With the marbles and the mouse trap. Kobolds are experts in traps. They are. So much so, actually, that we're doing Tomb of Annihilation at the moment for one of my D&D groups. I'm one of the players in this one, and the DM was like, yeah, so you enter this area. I won't describe it too much, just in case of spoilers. But like, you enter this area, and like some traps go off, and you see little kobolds running around, and you can see them kind of luring you towards like a little staircase heading down. And our entire party went, nope. Oh god, we were going to get Home Alone so freaking bad. It doesn't feel as bad to not head, because usually it would be a case of like, oh, you know, the DM has clearly prepared something. It didn't feel nearly as bad because it was pre-written, and we know that the DM kind of just like runs it as it comes up. So there was no sense of we've like destroyed a bunch of work that they've built up. But yeah, as soon as we saw that, we're like, nah, I don't think I will. Even as a wee hatchling, you're causing your mum stress, wrapping her knitting yarn around furniture to create wool trap wires. Beautiful. Last session in D&D, you may or may not have killed 300 people and put 200 in critical condition. A bit of an explosion. So are you Godzilla? Or that? Yeah, no, but as soon as you see kobolds, like, yeah, come this way, like luring you towards a staircase, heading underground, just, that's a no from me, dog. Like, you're in for the rudest home aloneing in your entire freaking life. In that session, no, you were a cobra named Kai. Oh, jeez. That is an example of reference that I would be incapable of. I can't do reference that hard. I can't do reference that hard. I've done it once. My first ever D&D character was a ranger named Power. So I was in fact Power the Ranger. And very, very gratefully on my part, I didn't run that character for very long. What happened is that, so you were a bard and you were on a freight train. Oh, jeez. I can immediately see where this is going. How are you going, by the way, Tika? Sorry, we're discussing shenanigans. I hope you're doing well. And in combat, you casted heat metal on the train. Yeah, okay. You cooked a train. Well done by the sounds of things. Yep. Ghost Rider type. Yeah. The spirit of vengeance. I'm the modern Ghost Rider. My spirit of vengeance is my bicycle. I get on my bicycle and it becomes a hell bicycle. I'm the Ghost Rider of the Wild West. My spirit of vengeance is this here horse. I get on my horse and then it becomes a fiery stallion of the night. I'm the train Ghost Rider. I get on my train and my spirit of vengeance is my train. Woo! That's not so bad. Thought I accidentally welded the train to the tracks and I went, we. That's what I was anticipating initially, was that we perhaps maybe went cross country with it, but no, turning the train into an oven is a little bit terrifying. 15's not bad, not bad at all. What would you like to do with your 15, Ghoulie? Didn't think through this at all, but oh well, I cast heat metal. Well, it depends on the DM. The way that I run heat metal is that it's very much so like a localized thing, especially given that is it a cantrip? It's either a cantrip or a level 1 spell. I think it's a cantrip. For a cantrip, I wouldn't set fire to a full train. It would very much so be like you heat up the area around you that you are like targeting. So if you heat metal and you target a spot 10 feet in front of you, it would heat up like a little spot on the floor. That is fun though. Like, hell yeah! If your DM runs it as like metal transfers heat, so the whole thing's going up in flames. Cool. It was the whole yeah. Hey, like different people roll things differently, you know. It's a leveled spell, you think? Concentration to keep it up. Yeah, okay. It's not bad. You're in a tunnel. It helps. It does help, but that's the wonderful thing about D&D, is that different tables have different outcomes, you know? The question at the end of the day is, did you have fun in the chaos? Don't try and reconstitute that question into, did you have fun burning people? That's not what I asked. Did you enjoy the chaos? If the answer is yes, then it's fine. That's just slow roasted barbecue at that point. True. Second level spell, concentration up to 1 minute, range 60 feet. That's not bad. I still probably wouldn't I wouldn't expand it to the whole train at that point. If I'm feeling it depends on what the player's wanting. If the player's like, I would like to heat up this carriage that we're in, yeah, sure. It might take like the initial cast would be like it heats up the immediate area that you're targeting, and then I might say over the next couple of turns it heats up the entire carriage. The whole train though, that's ambitious. Thank you for checking though, Tika. We do appreciate a good fact check. Just D&D players to know how to check up rules fast. Yeah. Hey DM, I'm gonna do something stupid, and I quickly looked it up, and it seems like it's possible. Oh god, I know that I'm in for a doozy as soon as I see a player completely unprompted looking up rules. I know that I'm in for something pretty crazy. All right, tell me, what do you got planned? All right, so hear me out. Levitate doesn't say that I can't carry momentum. Welcome back. How'd we go? Are we officially out of like horror ad season? Because I feel as though we had horror ads all the way up until like bits of November. Are we free? Officially now have the highest body count on the table, both as a bard and as a character. Oh dearie dear. I never play my bards like that actually. I know it's the staple to be like, if it has a pulse, I'm gonna try and do a kissing on it. But I never do. I didn't realize that was the thing that was done. Really? Do we actually go blue? No, it's just poor form on my part. Just poor form on my part. What if I do this? Yeah, okay. Close enough. Close enough. It's not about perfection. It is about getting it to feel right. Gonna use a kissing on it. How are you gonna seduce your husband next time you... Oh God! Just a Mahali sidling up to the club. Hey baby, would you like to do a kiss? Run, freaking run! funnily enough, your Dragonborn fighter is your horniest character. He's quite amorous as well. Well done. Well done. That was clever. I do really like it when inspiration is taken from different creature types with character design. So like there's a lizard in Australia called the horned dragon, where it's just like it's covered in these thorny spines, and if people don't do too well with blood, I apologize, but it actually has a thing where it like shoots blood out of its tear duct as a self-defense mechanism. I love the idea of a Dragonborn kind of being modeled off of that concept. It'd be so sick. It'd be sick. Because it speaks to the diversity in like creature design, you know? Not all geckos are the same, you know? Maybe my gecko runs across water. Want to embarrass my arch nemesis by publicly slapping his backside. Kai, who is recovering on the ER and in jail after the last surgeon. I would like to do a crime. You're saying that in court. I'm going to cry for you. Exactly. Blood in the eye. She come back another time. Oh, sorry, Billy. How you doing, bud? How's work? Ooh, I'm a rogue. Said no rogue ever. Customers coming soon, just passing time at the moment. Yeah, fair. The pit vodka's just kicking in. Oh, dearie dear. Never mix cold and flu medication with pit vodka. Never do it. Never do it. It's a bad time. It's a bad time. I've not banished the Thwomp. I've not. He's chilling. He's chilling. I don't think he's taken over. I don't think he's taken over stream again. Unless. No, we're good. We're good. Pit vodka, like a phone. Biff only works in the pit. Not to be confused with pit. Oh, pit voda. As yeah. Okay. How you doing, Jamie? How's your day been so far? You slept all of it. Yeah, fair. Are your days and nights a bit flipped at the moment? Is that what's going on? I can't even say that. I can't even say that for myself because I went to bed at appropriate time at night. And I spent the entire night awake, asleep, awake, asleep, awake, asleep. This is not usual for me. I'm either insomnia or out like a light. I never usually have the in-between, and I had a lovely bout of in-between. Lovely bit of it. With how many drinks spilled down the pit, the vodka down there must be spicy. True. Correct me if I'm wrong, Fire, but I'm pretty sure you used some of the... You said that you used some of the runoff from like a burst water pipe or something as part of the pit vodka refinement process. So yeah, no, there could be a few contaminants. Absolutely exhausted, constantly having sleep a ridiculous amount. Throat still sore, but not as sick as you were. Could have gone back to sleep for another 6 hours too. And a piece of bread? Absolutely not. Yeah, I mean, it's fair. You're sick at the moment, right? So your energy is going to be all over the place. All over the place. If your body's demanding rest, it's probably a good idea to listen to it. I think there's a bucket under a mysterious leak from the roof that's used for things as well. It was going to waste otherwise. Your husband caught it right after you. Haven't figured out where the old test packets went, but they're pretty certain it's corona again, because it's the only sick that acts like this. Yeah, fair. Even more reason to give yourself all the rest you need, you know? Back when the pit was just a twinkle in Mahali's eye, had joked that those in the pit got their water from for hydration from a pipe that leaks into the pit. That's what you started pit vodka in the first place. Not sure who added the potatoes, but here we are. I think somebody was it Minnow? Somebody had started growing crops in the pit, and I believe you jumped at the opportunity, like, oh, hell yeah, I can make some vodka out of those potatoes. And then something came up where it was potato. Oh, I think I'd made some offhand comment about how literally nobody says potato, so I find it really funny to say tomato, potato. And it went from there. It just went from there. I still find it hilarious, by the way. It's still comedy gold. You can't deviate me from this path. I've committed to it. I've committed to this pathway that I'm on. Potato. Too much rest means starving and dehydration. Don't usually feel when you're hungry, and you only avoid thirst due to liking the texture of drink obsessively. I mean, yeah, but like if your body is demanding the sleep, then I would recommend that you do the sleep and then you just try and compensate with like extra food and drink when you can. I think your golems would be cleaning the pit while you walk around. Not that it's dirty, but them just eat the broken stuff and leave the intact things. Yeah, that could be the case, right? You were talking the other day about how they ingest things as an energy source, right? It could be that they're almost like they very much so can convert anything into energy as long as they chuck it in their gob. So yeah, you could go through in the pit and just kind of like process some of the broken things that nobody's picking up. I mean, the pile is still piled high, but you could try to make a little bit of a dent in it. It's Thursday today. I'm gonna see if I can touch rocks today. We'll see. I've been on a roll for the past week or so. I've already had the inner little voice going, "Hey Mahali, you've been really good for this last week. So like, It's okay if you miss rock climbing on Thursday. It's okay. You can go on Sunday. Just go on Sunday. It's fine. I know you want to go 2 days a week, but like, hey, what are days? What are days if not things that can be ignored? So I have to actively ignore that voice. So fingers crossed, I can get out to rock climbing today. Good Lord, Tuesday was pain. Good Lord, Tuesday was pain. But I can feel myself slowly but surely getting back into shape. For the longest time, I tried different methods of staying in shape. Like a bunch of my initial weight loss was through daily walks, and that helped. It did. It meant that I had a bit of what's the word? God, not beating the terrible memory allegations. Cardio. It meant that I had regular cardiovascular workout. So moving a lot so that I increased my heart rate and blah 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 blah. Which was good. But like, I then thought that it was a case of why I just wasn't active enough. Maybe I wasn't gelling with it because I wasn't active enough. So I gave jogging a go. Jogging is not my speed. Literally not my speed. I don't like moving at a fast pace. God, it sounds stupid when I say it like that. It's true though. I just don't like rushing at like a really quick pace like that. So I didn't enjoy jogging at all. Gym work was boring as all hell. I was trying to find a way to spin it, but it's true. Being in the gym is just maybe the most boring thing of all time for me personally. If it's your jam, then hell yeah. But for me, I couldn't stomach it. I was desperate. I was desperate for anything. I hate swimming because I just hate being in the water. So like that's not really a thing for me. I could see myself potentially getting a treadmill, but like can't afford a treadmill right now. Probably wouldn't be a good idea. So I was desperate for some sort of outlet, And then I remembered that I had enjoyed traditional rock climbing. When I say traditional, I mean top rope, where there's a rope already secured to the ceiling and you use that rope to kind of tether yourself, and you have somebody at the bottom belaying the rope, so just kind of processing the rope for you. I'd remembered that I really enjoyed rock climbing when I was into it. But the problem was that I don't really have a rock climbing buddy to go along with regularly enough for it to become a routine. So I was stuck. It's like, I can't rock climb because I don't have the thing. Like a gift from the heavens, my YouTube recommendation algorithm gifted me, bestowed upon me, bouldering as a recommended set of videos, and good Lord, like a moth to flame. So I've been getting into bouldering. I had a friend recommend it. It came up in my recommendeds. Like I'd been watching bouldering for a little bit, and found a bouldering gym here in the city that I live in. It's been going really, really well until I fell off the horse and I hadn't been bouldering for a couple of months. Now I'm getting back on boulders. Yeah. You'd do rock climbing if you knew a place. Yeah, that's the thing, right? Is finding somewhere close. Maybe you could make an army of golems and have some collect the intact stuff into sorted piles and trade the piles for bones to give to the bone collector. Yeah, I would say that I wouldn't want the
the ecosystem of the pit to be too disrupted. I wouldn't want it to be the case where you can process through the entire pile, but you could definitely carve out a section for yourself and have almost like a junkyard style of odd shop where you're like, I found this and this and this, and it becomes almost like an antique store. I like that. That's really cool. Boulders. Yeah, so bouldering. Here, so top roping is traditional rock climbing where you've got a rope up to the ceiling and you use the rope as a tether. Bouldering is where there's no rope whatsoever, but the climb isn't as high. You're not going all the way to the ceiling, you're going like halfway, and there are a bunch of crash mats underneath. So if you fall off, it's not the end of the world. It might get a little bit sore if you fall off regularly, but you learn to fall well pretty quickly. You unassisted do these little climbs. So they'll give you a route, right? You'll have a wall. You have a wall, right? Lovely wall, a lovely color that's the same as everything else. You have a wall. And they'll set routes on the wall. So they might be like, okay, so this is the red. This is the red route. It's a really difficult one, so there are not many rocks and they're all really like teeny tiny. This is the yellow route. It's really easy. So there are like big, meaty handholds at super regular occurrences, and you go all the way to the top. They'll give you like a starting position. They'll be like, okay, one hand starts here, other hand starts here, and then they'll have like a finish tag up at the top, and you do the challenge. Might not know the right translation, but it's just wall climbing and finish. Love bouldering, only tried it once, but dang, skittering up walls scratches the creature brain just right. It really does, doesn't it? I think you are correct. Yeah. No, it is bouldering, the thing that you've tried. It just, as you said, there's this primal satisfaction of just like, I've rejected humanity, I've returned to monkey, I'm climbing this wall and I'm doing a good job. Rock colors coordinate the difficulty level parts, right? Yeah. What is bouldering? So bouldering is climbing without a rope. For short climbs. That's it. Rock climbing is with rope. That's basically it. Embracing the inner golem in ourselves just to climb stuff. Exactly, Key. There's something just like, as Tika described, it just kind of scratches the primal brain, you know? Gives you that good feeling. Okay, I've been pushing my peas around the plate too much. I need to just commit. I need to put in the cars. I don't want to put them in because it's just... I hate artificial structures so much. Just give me a field. Give me a field with grass and some trees and some rocks. But we're studying for a reason. We're looking to improve in this particular aspect of ourselves. Recognize the challenge. Approach the challenge. Defeat the challenge. Kobold go up rock. Kobold happy. 100%. 100%. Mahali climb rock. Mahali happy. How you doing, Key? How's your day been? Oh, K. Sorry, my bad. Reading comprehension. My B. I'm trying a new setup. So, what I had previously was I had all of my work on my right screen, and I'd use my left monitor as my secondary monitor. This was back with my previous monitor, where the one on the left was good with frame rates, the one on the right was accurate color, so it meant I needed to work on the one on the right and play on the one on the left. So it meant I needed to move my setup whenever I switched between the two. I no longer have to do that, so I'm just set up with my main monitor now. But my right eye is noticeably worse than my left eye. So my reading comprehension has gone through the floor with looking at stuff over on my right side. It's awful. I've tried tilting the monitor for this stream, so we'll see if that helps. It has so far, but I'll occasionally make little slip-ups. Level up. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Gives you that good experience. Speaking of leveling up, I was at the purple difficulty, which would be level 3, I guess. I was at the purple difficulty with bouldering before I stopped. And I can feel myself having regressed. I've regressed a ton. I'm struggling with the purples now, so I've had to return back to blue, so level 2. Which sucks. I hate it. With a fiery passion. Do I line it up with there? Let's line it up with there somewhat. But yes, that's the plan for today, is to go bouldering. And then hopefully get a big chunk finished of my commission. I need it done by Christmas. I've got a week. I have a week. Thankfully, it's the simplest of the 3 commissions that I had going. So it should be fine. It should be fine. You've acquired the motivation for a goal, but you haven't started because you know too well that if you start, you'll accidentally doom scroll potential references and lose all the energy for it. Why don't you set rules for yourself? This sounds awful, but it's true. Why don't you set rules for yourself? Why don't you set like, okay, I need a reference for what the landscape looks like. I need a reference for what the outfit is for the character. I need a reference for anatomy. I need a reference for hair, blah, 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 blah. Give yourself a laundry list of things to hunt for. And then once you've hit that laundry list, disengage from reference gathering and then go into the piece. If partway along the piece you feel like you're struggling with a certain element, again, give yourself another little laundry list. Be like, okay, I need this, this, and this, and limit yourself to those 3. Go out, grab your extra references that you need, put them into your reference file, and then again, disengage from references. If you find that doom scrolling is your problem, setting a limiter might help. You're distracted too easily. Even 5 seconds of looking means rabbit hole of completely unrelated images. Well, that's why you're setting yourself to the hard limit, right? You can even go into it with a physical checklist in front of you, where you've got it written out with big square boxes that you literally tick. Disengaging is the hard part. Yeah, that's fair, but you could have somebody as your lifeline. You could have somebody as your lifeline if you're finding that you personally are struggling with the self-control aspect of it. Having either that person in real life or somebody to message, be like, I'm struggling with doom scrolling. They could help sort of pull you back. In the same way that people find having somebody to study alongside helps to kind of keep them accountable, right? I tend to find that that's helpful. Like I find these study streams quite helpful because I tend to put off my studies. I tend to be like, if I'm studying, I may as well be working, you know? Whereas if I force myself into a study stream, I find that stream keeps me accountable, right? Having something equivalent to that could help. You've tried many of the strats. Your new plan of strat is to look for a site that just shows one image at a time, but that might also tickle the gremlin in your tism. Yeah, that's fair. You could try this. You could try starting the image. You could start the image without references. And then as soon as you feel like you need a reference, go and get one reference and then cut yourself off at the one reference. I know it's that idea of being difficult to pull back, but if you set this hard limit of a single image, then it means as soon as you find that one image, you've got you've met the criteria, and then maybe that could be a good way of disengaging. That way there's no wiggle room. There's no sense of like, but like I could get more. If it's just set to one, then you kind of have to cut yourself off at that point. Your goal requires starting without references, then redrawing with reference, then restarting without reference again. Yeah, okay. You might need company for the process, is the feeling that I get. You might need to loop your husband into like, hey, so I've got this challenge I want to do, but I need somebody to tell me like, no, and like bap the back of my hand when I'm sitting on Pinterest for too long. Need to know what reference you'll use to be able to start that. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, but yeah, do what you gotta do. How you doing, Kay? By the way, how's your week been? We're at Thursday already. Good lord. Good lord. I'd usually be happy about that because it means one step closer to the weekend. But because I've got this looming deadline, one step closer to the weekend is a harrowing thing. An absolutely harrowing thing. Bring a little bit of extra dark into these shadows on the left. Just a smidge. Makes it feel like there's a bit more energy. This truck is sitting higher than what I've depicted it as. If we have everything sitting at the same height as each other, it looks flat and boring, which is what I'm coming to learn. I need to keep that in mind because that's what I struggled with this piece. That's what I struggled with this piece, is that it ended up flat and boring with some of the background elements. These buildings are all just cardboard cutouts, and I hate it with a fiery passion. So I need to remember to keep elevation at kind of different heights to keep things interesting. Lurk for you. Your brain can't handle chat and this glove at the same time. Be here watching me jazz up. Jappa's Villain Clubhouse. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. All good. All good. All good. Good luck with the gloves. No, especially give yourself a break, given that your brain is going to be quite taxed, given you're down with the sickness at the moment. Post a picture like, yeah, yes, please. I would love to see. It's just going to be me ranting and raving for a good minute and a half about how how I don't understand how gloves work. Absolute wizardry, though. Absolute wizardry. As I've said in the past, I understand how to, in crochet, I know how to do square. I now know how to do circle. But then as soon as it's like glove shaped, what? Pardon? And then you've got people making plushies of different things, like Noctua made a Bulbasaur out of crochet. Freaking how? I know the answer. I know somebody's going to give me the answer. Mahali, why are you panicking? It's literally square and circle, just orchestrated in different ways. It's just square and circle organized in different ways. And to that I say, no, it's not true. You're lying to me. I can't believe you've done this. It reminds me of the how to draw an owl meme. You know, the classic. Well, you start with a circle. You start with a circle, and then you add another circle, and then you render the owl. It's a similar vibe for me. Okay. We kind of have a shape there. Sure. Okie dokie. Then we extrapolate. We kind of add these other car-like elements. Need to remember that we're not going through and rendering each one. It's not important to do so. The worst thing that you can do, and it's the rabbit hole. Okay, maybe not the worst thing. I need to not be too hard on myself. The rabbit hole that I fall down the most often is rendering everything. Is going, oh, there is a tree in the background. So we go through and we do the bark, the branches, the leaves, all that. There's a tree even further in the background. Sweet, bark, branches, blah, 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 blah. But what you fail to keep into account is your eyes aren't very good at focusing on everything all at the same time. Some things will be out of focus. Isn't the next box higher than the darker one? Yeah, sure, but I'm not too fussed about getting all of that right. Like for example, this building is further to the left. This building is also further to the left. Like I'm cutting off some of the detail there and stuff. I'm intentionally being loosey goosey with it. Because now that I've noticed, I will I will alter it. But I'm intentionally being loosey goosey with it because I need to not focus on the detail too much. If it's not aiding in my understanding of how the scene comes together, then it's me being a little bit too pedantic. My intention isn't to one-to-one recreate the image. My intention is to understand what makes the image tick, so that way, push comes to shove, I understand how to create this kind of imagery. So for example, a thing that I've learned from this image is that in order to really set something into the background, you kind of need to blitz the detail completely. But at the same time, counterweight, you don't get rid of all of it. You don't get rid of all of the detail. Like you kind of have these implications of detail still existing in the murkiness, which is a really cool element. Another thing that I've learned from this image so far is that to create an interesting cityscape, you kind of need to punch divots and holes into everything. Like there's an alleyway here between these two buildings. There's a little dip in the building heights here. The balconies are sticking out. You've got like a little crest thing up the top here. This detail that sets itself apart. All of these different things create a more interesting facade, which is kind of what I'm looking for. Because I didn't like the facade of. It's not the front of the buildings, obviously. It is the back, so it's going to be like a little bit less interesting. But still, I didn't like how flat these turned out, these walls. So this is the kind of thing that I'm looking for. Alleys tend to have that kind of flat, at least sometimes there. Yes, but the wonderful thing about being an artist is that even if reality says one thing, we can decide to do another. Like, for example, in The Lion King, 2019, I think, the re-release, the quote-unquote live-action one, the director of that said, for a lot of these scenes, the visual artists actually made these wonderful skyboxes, these wonderful skyscapes, but I had to go back through and be like, no, make it uglier, make it less interesting, make it boring, chuck in some like really monotonous cloud cover and stuff, because in nature these kind of skies don't appear all the time. And that, I don't know, that's just so antithetical to the creative process, where that you may as well just go around taking photographs then. Why you... But even still, like, photographers go through and they take these stunning shots of these big skyboxes. It's a movie. There's a bit of idealization, you know, as part of the process, as part of the creative process. You're going, hey, like, in this scene, this character is feeling sad. So because this character is feeling sad, we're going to put in a heavy sky. We're going to put in these thick clouds. We're going to put in a bit of rain. You could do that because it's a movie. You could make decisions. Sorry, that wasn't intended to be a rant, but oh god, I hate that movie so much. The thought of like, well, I can't do that because it's not real, annoys me. It annoys me, specifically when it came from that director. That comment pissed me off. Because that's the point. That's the point. Is you're making decisions to communicate something. If you're just trying to communicate, these are real lions, why are you doing a movie? Just do a documentary at that point. Yeah. So I get what you mean, where like alleyways can look just flat like that. But if it leads to a worse looking image, it's my job as the artist to step in at that point and make a creative decision. Be like, yeah, it's kind of like, I've gone to alleyways, this is what alleyways look like, but it doesn't look great. Like it makes the image look a little bit flat, a little bit boring, a little bit stilted. It's not achieving the thing that I want. It's my job to step in and be like, you know what, I'm going to make the executive decision to add creative elements that might not necessarily appear in alleyways, but will make the image look better because of it. Rant over. I promise. Oh god. Lion King 2019. Frick you. How would we feel if I snuck into Disney headquarters, took all of their plans for live actionifying their animated movies, and then I just like catapulted them into the ocean? Like hypothetically, how would we feel? Would that be okay? Would we all be okay with this? I personally would be okay with this. Speaking on my behalf. Should return to making movies about books. That would be cool. That'd be cool. There were a few adaptations, yeah. Did well with that. They did. Some of my favorite movies as of late have been adaptations from books. Villeneuve, his Dune movies have been amazing. Really cool. Really, 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 really cool. I'd be down. I feel like Hollywood has strayed away from book adaptations because what happened was there was this big boom with young adult adaptations in the movie industry. Think your Harry Potters. Think your Hunger Games. Hunger Games was kind of the next Harry Potter in a sense, where they're like, oh god, the Harry Potter movies are coming to a close. What's next? What's the next thing? Twilight, another one. 50 Shades of Grey was another one. Yeah, very much so. Like this is a working algorithm that we're leaning on. It just works. We adapt book. People love the book. Sweet. They love the movie. Sweet. We make $1 bajillion. But then there was this big flood of young adult adaptation movies. The Host, Mortal Instruments, Maze Runner, and there was Divergent. All of these movies came out, boom, 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 one after another. There are a ton more, way more than I can list. That absolutely flopped. So I feel as though Hollywood's kind of in a state where they're panicking because the general the general outlook on the live action adaptations is negative, in the sense that generally people are saying these are the worst, but we're still going out to see them. So Disney's like, okay, we'll keep making them because people are going out to see these. But then anytime people do book adaptations, they're doing poorly. Anytime like sequels are happening, like the Matrix sequel did really poorly, for example. The Wreck-It Ralph sequel did really poorly. Like, I feel as though they're in a spot where they're starting to panic because all of their go-to lean on strategies are kind of disappearing. The answer is, unfortunately, make a good movie. But it's really difficult. It's really, 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 really difficult to make a good movie. It is. No, it legitimately is. If anybody says it's easy to make a good movie, it's not true. It's just not true. You have directors that have immaculate track records who try and make a film and it just bombs because they just executed something slightly poor with it. The idea didn't come together in the way that they wanted it to as part of the process, because like it's a big system with a bunch of little moving parts. If some aspect of it fails, if they can't get enough funding for it, if like the costuming department doesn't go in the direction that they intended for the costumes to go, there can be a whole bunch of things. Like Cats, for example. Cats failed because the visuals of it became a meme. There are other elements of that movie that were poor, of course, but you can tie a direct correlation of like visual memes to poor outcome. Like, that was basically all of the feedback that the movie received, was the visuals were a nightmare. Which sucks. Like, you'd prefer to have more good things in the world, you know? We're trying to go off the success of Hunger Games. They were. All live action, though. Disney's thing with book adaptations was that they were animated, changed sometimes for the magic of it. That's fair. My personal preference is that Disney lean more into their 2D roots. That would be sick. DreamWorks kind of beat them to it with Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. The Bad Guys 2, have all kind of leaned into that 2D, 3D hybrid, which is great because then it means more competition. But it sucks because, Disney had actually come out with a short film called, is it like Paper Planes or something? God, what was it called? Disney Paper Plane short. Paperman. It was a little animated short where it depicted a guy who was attempting to send little paper plane messages to somebody in the building opposite them. And the thing that was so fantastic about it was it had essentially engineered this approach of 3D plus 2D. It was 3D models with 2D animated elements kind of rotoscoped over the top, and it was really, really cool. But they didn't do anything with it. They didn't then use it to make a full-length movie. It was just kind of a proof of concept, and then they didn't extrapolate on it. And then other people did. Other people stepped in. That's where you've got your Klausers, you've got your, as I said, Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, you've got your Arcanes, you've got a bunch of studios stepped in, and Spider-Man Across the Into the Spider-Verse. You had a whole bunch of movie studios step in and be like, hey, if you're not going to use this space that you've created, we'll use it. And they've seen a whole bunch of success because of it. I don't understand why Disney hasn't. It is strange to me. I don't get it. Need the DreamWorks poop talk room. Hear the whole script and talk anything you think is poop without any chance of losing a job over it. Yeah, a little bit more critical thinking could help. Yeah, you're not wrong. Oops. You're not wrong. I don't know. A lot of people have the mindset of like, big company bad. I hate Disney, big monopoly. Me hate Disney. Like, I don't love monopolies. I prefer that there be more healthy competition, and I feel as though there is relatively healthy competition now. But I don't know. I grew up with Disney. I want to see them making cool things again. More cool things in the world, please. So on the one hand, I do hope that the live action stuff kind of starts to tank. Not maliciously, just with the hope that it kind of turns them back towards sort of more creative ventures. Is my hope. But hey, if DreamWorks steps in and becomes the new Disney and is making interesting stuff, okay, I guess we're heading in that direction then. You're right, though. You're right in the sense that you do need to get out of a yes man environment. If the creative heads are just surrounded by people going like, yeah, no, that sounds great, becomes a problem very quickly. Because then you don't have the natural filter, you know. You don't have anybody saying like, "Hey, yeah, like I love the initial concept, but the direction that you're taking it seems kind of bad." I haven't heard that any of the creatives in at Disney are untouchable. But I also know that they have quite a bit of quote unquote royalty in their midst. Like Brad Bird, for example, he was the head of Disney Pixar for ages. He directed The Incredibles and stuff like that. Tomorrowland as well, I think. I think he's also directed. I do fear that maybe individuals like that are kind of considered to be untouchable. That could also lead to a bit of creative stagnation. As if, if they've got nobody going like, "Hey, don't do that." It's very rare that a single person's vision is revolutionary, you know? It tends to be these think tank style setups where you've got quite a few creatives at the table being like, "Hey, like, you can have a head creative, you know, one person kind of steering the ship, but generally speaking, you want a little bit of pushback. You want a little bit of pushback so that you forge something truly beautiful by the end of the process." Which is why I really appreciate the world building streams that we have, where we've got a bit of back and forth. We've got a bit of, "Oh, no, this sounds good. Oh, this doesn't sound as good. Maybe we can tweak that." And then, on that topic, a bit of feedback as to how the stream works as well. I thoroughly appreciate. Like, for example, Mild pointed out yesterday that my microphone kind of drops off suddenly if I speak away from the mic like this. I wouldn't have thought about it, but now that it's been pointed out, I can be on top of it. Don't think they have their eyes on the beauty of it. Not the journey, but the destination. Yeah. I think there's also a lot of pressure. I think there's also a lot of pressure for them to create, and not enough, like, cultivation, if that makes sense. Not enough just like watering the plant, giving it sunlight, giving it fertilizer, and just kind of letting these ideas grow. It's very much so like, we need creative idea now. Here we go. Let's go. Pump it out. It's kind of what happens when you try to industrialize the creative process. It's kind of true. Creative brains are kind of antithetical to the ever-marching machine of efficiency. The creative process is not efficient. It's not. And it shouldn't be. If it was efficient, it'd be incredibly boring. I'm going to use that moving forward as part of stream. I'm taking ages with this painting, but that's because I'm anti-efficiency. I put all of my chips in the creative basket, so I take as many chips out of the efficient basket as possible. I'm just maximizing my creativity, you know? Less worker ants, more paint. Exactly. Exactly. My art revolution begins nigh. It is upon us. Not going to get anywhere with it because too busy painting. Okay, and then we've got these shapes coming through. Blah, 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 blah. Nice. Need to go a little bit darker, but that's cool. That's doable. Then there's a whole bunch of like the railing and darkness and Batman and stuff going on over there on the right. Brick. Let's start with it. How's it looking? That's looking better. I'm going to have to at some point commit to starting to put the wires in, but that can wait. That can wait. Ads in 1 minute. Thank you, Tavern. I appreciate it. Thank you for letting me know. Will that be our last round of ads? I think so. That'll set us to what? 3:30? 3.5 hours? And then I can... Yeah, okay. No, that could work. That could work. Yeah. So ads in 1 minute, and then I snooze. Then I snooze ads for the rest of the stream. Digi, hi. $41°C is knocking you out. Oh, yeah. Understandably so. Roll for Tavern entrance. Let's have a look. Oh, 17. What does a 17 look like, did you? With that kind of confidence, what does it look like? You succeed. You want to do a cartwheel? Yeah, okay. Yeah, no, with a 17. People are momentarily startled by the bang of the front tavern door swinging open, flying open, as your feet come through first. You've already started the cartwheel. You've kicked open the door using your momentum, and you actually do a double cartwheel in the process. You kick it open, up, and then you do another one, and you up with the final landing of it. You do a big bow. Everybody claps. Confetti actually starts dropping from the roof. But then you realize that it's not confetti, it's actually candle bugs that have been smuggled into the tavern. So a couple of candle bugs actually stick to you. But incredibly impressive regardless. And then you order a bottle of timer juice. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Super smooth. Like to hit on a wench, but oh my goodness. Gotta go. Love. See you later. Thank you for chatting. Of course. Look after yourself, Jamie. Rest up. Get well soon. I'll catch you later. Creaky neck. While you sip on timer juice, dearie dear. As you as you refer to one of the patrons in the tavern as as you refer to one of the meal servers, as you refer to one of them as a wench, make a dexterity saving throw as one of them makes a swing. You're a goblin, by the way, of course you are. Oh, jeez. That's okay. The timer juice helps to ease the sting as as you nurse a bit of a fat cheek. That's okay. The swelling should go down pretty soon. How you doing, Digi? How's your day been? Is it just me, or is it time for us to juice? Slap, yeah, exactly. Ah, God, I don't know. It was such a reliable pickup line before. I mean, it's never worked, but it's the confidence. Unfortunately, it's the confidence that doing a cartwheel gets you. It's both a blessing and a curse. You bought that pickup line off of a bard on a weave ship? Oh no. Yeah. Why I order? I loved the little ditty that you'd posted earlier. Really nice. Is it habit to just kind of tinker with the guitar? Because I know that you've said in the past that you've learned a ton about the guitar and you're quite passionate about it. But do you tend to just create? Okay, we've got a lot of the broad strokes down. Still not loving the fact that it's taken me ages to get down to the tone that I actually want on this building on the right. Take me far longer than it should. That's helped. Been playing since you were 20. Was more focused on it than art for a few years. Don't play much anymore, but you're trying to get back into it a bit. Yeah, that's fair. Turning it into a bit of a daily habit tends to help with me. If I'm wanting to play piano a little bit more, setting aside a dedicated time helps. It does help. Found an app that can listen to your recordings from years ago, turn them into tabs, so you're relearning songs that you've written and forgotten. Nice! Wait, what? That's sick! It reminds me of... There's a program that I found. It's pretty incredible. Yeah, there was a site that I found ages ago. This would have been what? 10, 15 years ago? 12 years ago? Something like that. There was a site that I found where you can tap out a rhythm using your spacebar on your keyboard, and it will tell you what song it likely is based on the rhythm. I can't find that site again. I can find a similar site, but it exclusively returns with classical results, which is not what I'm looking for. It's just, I don't know. There are some tools like that are just sick, that are awesome, really, 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 really cool. I hadn't heard of there being something that can do that. Even shows sheet music, how it's played on piano, lets you change the tuning or put a capo on, and it will show how it would be played. Get some things wrong like sliding, but it's 95% accurate. I mean, that's 95% more capable than I thought that these programs could be. That's amazing. That's really cool. It gets close enough that you can easily recall the parts it gets wrong. Just helps jog your memory. Yeah. Yep. Plus, as you've said, you're familiar with the instrument now to the point where even if it gets it 100% correct and you just want to editorialize on the spot, you absolutely can. It'd be a fun process. Called Guitar 2 Tabs? Hell yeah. I don't play myself, but it's a sick program. That's cool. App. They're not called programs anymore, Harley. Post the tab to that last edit so I can see what it looks like. Yeah, yes please. I'm not too familiar with guitar tabs, so it'd be cool to see. Dox yourself first and last. No, don't do it. I didn't see anything. Delete it quick. It's fine. This is fine. So official looking with the name in the corner and everything. Like you're a composer. Ooh, let's have a look. Ooh, it is super official looking. Ah, it actually shows the fretboard? That's really cool. Hence the tab, right? Because it's showing like the actual. Yeah, cool. What do the numbers mean? I would have assumed that it was the finger that you're using, but it's got a whole bunch of zeros, which I don't think would be the same finger. It's in open tuning, so it's extremely easy to play. Yeah, cool. Even a Mahali could play it. The numbered notes, the fret. Ah, of course. Yeah, okay, because you've got different sections. Yeah, okay, sure. Does it start 0 towards the towards the body of the guitar, or is it 0 up towards the neck? So as 0 is open. Oh, I'm not familiar with the terms. Yeah, this is far too technical for me. My brain is melting. What is open? One is by... Oh, open is in... As in off the... One is by the headstock, so up like towards the tuning bits. Yeah, okay. How's the stream going? Hi, Cersei. Yeah, doing good. I'm being informed as to how guitars. Open means don't touch it. Don't touch. Oh, so you're just playing the string without... Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. Why did I... Yeah, yeah. Why did I not think that was a thing? Why? I just assumed... Yeah, okay. I just assumed that your left hand was always doing something. Okay, no, that makes sense. Oh my goodness, I can't believe I've never pieced that together. Oh yeah, of course, like that. Of course there is. Every instrument that I've played outside of piano, there's like open. Ocarina, there's like a note where you don't touch anything. Trumpet, I think it's D. I can't remember. There's a note where we don't touch any of the buttons. You are unfamiliar with guitar, but you play violin/viola, among other brass. Yeah, okay. Interesting. I play piano, so I'm not familiar with traditional instruments. The thing with piano is like once you learn piano, you know piano. Like that's the one thing. It doesn't have, apart from like organ or what's the other one? The harpsichord. Apart from those, there's no transferable skill. That song is open D tuning, meaning that if you strum the strings together without fretting, it plays a lovely D chord. Ah, cool. Gonna throw down a tiny piano ditty too. Hell yeah. Yes, please. C is no vowels pressed for trumpet. Also G and E, but not always for those two. Right. I played a bit of trumpet for a year back in grade 5 or year 5, depending on where you live. That would have been what? Oh God, 20 years. No, I don't want to think about it. No, I'm not thinking about it. I played trumpet a while ago, a couple of days ago, if you if you blow your vision a bit. But yes, piano is my poison of choice. Trumpet was your first brass. Been playing for over 2 decades now. Feels old, man. Yeah, I know. Piano takes crazy skill though. It can. It can. It can also be quite straightforward, especially if you're just living the chords life, you know. But yeah, no, certainly it can take quite a bit of skill. God, my music trajectory was very strange, very, very, very strange. It was back in year 4 that we found out that in year 5 we were going to be learning an instrument. So, a bunch of my friends were like, "Oh, you know what? I'm going to learn the saxophone specifically because it sounds kind of like sex." Yeah, no, my friend group was pretty cool. Pretty cool things, all things considered. I had no idea what they were talking about, basically at all. But I had a tendency to be like, yeah, me too. So I had signed myself up for the saxophone as my music instrument of choice. But then we're kind of told that we needed like a first preference, a second preference, and a third preference. My logic was that like, okay, I don't know why saxophone, but sure, we'll go with saxophone. Trumpet kind of looks like saxophone, so maybe that's kind of cool too. So I had trumpet and I think trombone as my second and third. Saxophone was immediately snatched up by everyone because how cool it is, because it sounds like sex. So I learned the trumpet. Trumpet was my first instrument. Was referring to reading both treble and bass. Yeah, that's fair. No, that is fair. You do have to read twice as much as some other instruments. That is a good point. The execution actually can be quite taxing as well, depending on what you're playing, what kind of tempo and stuff. That sounds like the typical nerd friend group. Yeah, it's true. So trumpet was my first instrument that I learned how to play. Then, of course, because I'm not a nerd, right? I'm a cool jock type. I'm 7'8", broad shoulders, and I play sports ball all the time. So my second instrument that I learned how to play was the ocarina. Don't judge me. So learned the ocarina as my second instrument, and then went on to piano. And then my love affair with the piano has never really ended, not for very long. Ever since. I have gone through periods of time where I haven't played the piano. Like I think there was a good like 4-year stint where I hadn't touched the piano after COVID. I was on a big roll with piano pre-COVID. I was going to lessons quite regularly. I was going up through the theory levels because I'd started casually, and then I after the fact wanted to go back and learn all my theory. So I was going through the levels, level 3, level 4, level 5 theory. But then COVID hit, so lessons stopped, and I just kind of fell off a cliff with piano. I hadn't touched it ever since. But I've gotten back into it recently, and it's been really, really, really fun. Engaging with it casually again. Not as interested in the theory as much, just going through and learning songs that I like. Finally started on your Beast-cember? Oh, hell yeah. You're December Beast. I love it. No spoilers, but I hope you've been struck with inspiration. 30 seconds of piano has entered the server. Hell yeah. Trumpet players tend to be full of themselves. Definitely strike more as a sax or trombone player for sure. I mean, it's true. I have been known to be found in like a dark, cool club, sort of on a stool with, mood lighting, a bit of dry ice fog kind of coming through as I start up on the saxophone. Absolutely not. I'm not that cool. Absolutely not that cool. Hi Jiro, how you doing? Wanted to learn any instrument for so long, but your parents were like, "We all know you'll try it for a couple of weeks and get bored of it. No way we're wasting our money on that." Um, you can get into instruments pretty cheaply nowadays, Tika. If you do still have that, if you still do have that want, you could pick up like a kalimba or a ukulele or something for $20, something like that. And then you don't really have to fork out on lessons until you're wanting to kind of formalize it. If you're wanting to go through grading system and that sort of thing, that's when you need to pay for lessons. But if you're wanting to just learn how to play, there's so many tutorials on YouTube nowadays. So many tutorials. Playing Planet Crafter. It's a first person where you're a prisoner dropped off on a planet and serving your sentence by terraforming the planet. Have ignored everything but messing with genetics to make little critters. They're so cute. Made an 8-legged fish lizard that makes cute noises and has bioluminescence. So what you're telling me, Jiro, is that you've recreated the game Spore. Is that... Am I understanding that correctly? You've taken this one game and you've been like, Spore! And the game's been like, no, it's called Planet Craft. And you're like, I love Spore. And you've started playing. Fair enough. Went in the order of violin, harmonica, viola, trumpet, clarinet, flugelhorn. Flugelhorn, yeah, piano, and so on. Family of musicians, and started at the age of 4 with violin. Yeah, that does help. It does help to have a bit of momentum from early on. I can see a parallel universe where instead of going into art, I went into music, and that would have been cool. It would have been fun, but I was too slow off the starting block, I think, to be any sort of concert anything. That would have been beyond me, I think. You've attempted. Your cheapness just hinders your passion. Got the cheapest guitar possible. The neck is too thin, and your tiny short fingers got the... it's too thick for your tiny short fingers. Got the cheapest kalimba. The tiles are tines are badly crafted and don't resonate. Got the cheapest electric piano. You misplaced the cable. Oh no! Deary dear. I mean, at least you are putting in attempts. Better to attempt it. I do have the look of a bard. That's fair. Bard is my favorite class, so I've been called out. I've been seen. Good lord. Immediately clocked as the bard that I am. Pretty much, you're supposed to create planet heat, oxygen levels, atmospheric pressure, and whatnot, but you only did the bare minimum to get your little critters thriving. Glorious. Heard great music come from the cheapest of instruments. It's true. It's true. I think you've just been a little bit unlucky, Tika, with some of your purchases. My recommendation to you would be to, if you're intending to pick up a new one, there are music shops. If you can get into a music shop and try some of these things, you'll get a sense of what's cheap but still works the way that you want it to. I know there's going to be a degree of like, I am not familiar enough with the instrument to know what's good. But something as simple as like, this instrument actually makes noise as compared to this one that doesn't really make noise because the tiles aren't resonating in the ways that they should. It's cool because there are 6 planets. You start on 1. And once you're done, you can either leave and call it good or build a rocket to another planet to start terraforming the next one. You're terraforming every one of them and spreading your little critters across the soul. They're living their best lives. You want to try out something you can hit with sticks next time, maybe? Just maybe. You'll buy the second cheapest option this time. Oh, you've got a few decent options. Like a xylophone's fun. Xylophones are fun. You can get like an electronic drum kit for not too bad, I think. but I don't have familiarity with electronic drum kits, so don't take my word for it. Look it up. Look it up first. You can rocket back planets. You've already finished too. Funniest part is the game is multiplayer. Up to, ooh, funnest part. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So you can share your little creations with other unsuspecting friends. The instrument making noise really is important. Noticed it with the kalimba. You want to try a marimba? Ooh, a marimba would be cool. A marimba would be very, 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 very cool. Hand drum would be nice too, but it's not available where you live. Ah, sucks. I saw somebody playing a steel drum. Is it a steel drum? The one where you what's the instrument where you put water in the bass and it's like a big almost like tortoiseshell like shape of instrument, and it's got little divots where you kind of pluck at the surface of the steel. Is that a steel drum? Steel drum isn't the thing with the mallets that's like a big round bowl, right? Hitting sticks with sticks, marimba calls you. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Stick, good for kobold. Second stick, oh god, now we're talking. That's not just like stick plus stick, it's stick times stick at that point. Stick multiplied by stick equals exponential enjoyment. Armed and dangerous. Okay, what did we learn from the road last time? We learned from the cobblestones that just kind of horizontal lines kind of help with that feeling of you're looking across a rough surface. So let's incorporate that a little bit. Of course, you have stick emote on speed dial. Of course. Speaking of, I need to drill it into my head that I need to develop a D20 and like a natural 20 and a natural 1 D20 emote. It's actually a travesty that I don't have them already. Critters can naturally evolve and mutate too. You can harvest DNA samples to put into the splicer to have the mutations and evolutions to start making new critters from scratch with the mutation. Ah, okay. So you create your critters on your first planet. You fly away and start terraforming the second one. You go on to the third, fourth, or whatever. And then you come back to the first one and they've mutated a ridiculous amount. And you're like, oh, sweet. I presume there are branching mutations as well. So you might have your starting critters and then 5 branching mutations from them, and you can go through and be like, I really like the 5th mutation. I'm going to go get a sample of the 5th mutation and then kind of start a new batch of critters from there. Yeah, cool. Game gives you all these cool things to do. You ignores all those in favor of critters. I mean, you're in good company. We here at Mahali and Incorporated appreciate just little guys. There's no judgment. Absolutely no judgment here. You're in a safe space. You just gotta have a little guy. You do for mental health. Exactly. Just cause, you know. Mental health, of course, but also just because a little guy, you know. Just to have them. Exactly. Favorite critter is the first one you made. Here is a pink body with brown shell and glowing green spots. Ah, yes. Give a picture. Yes, please. Check in the Discord. I'd love to see. The tire tracks are feeling a little bit too stand outy, so I'm going to try and blend them into their environment a little bit more. Take some of that that earthy orange and kind of anchor it to the floor. It's also not bending in the way that I need it to, so looking to skew it just that little bit. Scent and general chatter. Oh, let's have a look. Ooh. You were not lying when you said like a little fish dinosaur guy. That's so freaking cool. Yep. Not what I wanted. Not what I wanted, Windows 11. Stop hijacking. How cool is this? Just a little guy. Exactly. Just a little guy. So I love how it's got like tardigrade, like little legs. That's fantastic. And then he's just a little hammerhead shark tardigrade. It's so good. He's your precious little boy. Of course. Goofy little goober. It's so good. So good. Hammerhead shark, tardigrade, squishy little pink and green guy. Full title. Now, because this area of road is further away, we kind of need to be a little bit squishier with the texture. Can't be as spread out, because that way, if it's too spread out, it'll feel almost like a ramp heading up, which is not what we want. We want it to feel like it's moving forward, so we need to squish the textures. Has ads been behaving? Yeah, ever since the first one. Which is confirms that the ads throughout stream command is working fine. Need to make him a girlfriend. Thinking going bird route, where the females are more muted colours, while the males are more colourful ones. Yeah, okay. So that kind of like a peacock style of interaction, where you've got like, haha, look how pink my little legs are. Look how wonderful my little splishy, like, splotty spots are. Hell yeah. I see you've taken a liking to Gerald, but have you seen my colourful display? Boom. Hit him with the hit him with the full array of colours, you know. Welcome back, Pretender. How you doing? Sent a picture of the female you made. Haven't got a good name for her yet. Let's have a look. Ooh, yeah, okay. Yeah, just as you said, like more muted colours in comparison. And yeah, cool. Makes sense. You're doing terrible. Why? According to your rolls, 11's fine. 11's fine. What you need to remember is that if you roll a 9, a 10, 11, a 12, that's your average. So how do you feel usually? What's your usual mood? If your usual mood is just kind of neutral, then you're neutral. 20 can't be your usual. Then it's not special anymore, you know? What's left to get excited about if you're always at a 20? You know, there's no 21. Usual mood is eh? I mean, then an 11 is slightly better than eh. Huzzah! What should you name the female? I mean, wouldn't it just have the, like, as in name or species name? Because wouldn't the species name just be the same as the male one? You already got their species. Ah, okay. So in terms of name, what's a fun, like, little alien tardigrade name? Oh, for some reason I've got Beal. Beal is my is my name of recommendation. Beal. There you go. It's alien. It's just a little guy. Yeah, A can work too. There you go. Boom. Their species name is Hammerus lizards. Perfect. Bale? Could be. Neil McBeal. Yeah, exactly. Boom. Name granted. We got Goober and Neil McBeal. Perfect. Perfect. How are you born in December if pregnancy only takes 9 months? But, I mean, if you do the maths. It works out, I promise. Speaking of granting things, in Critical Role Campaign 4, my god, they've just shown how they're going to be doing leveling up as part of the campaign, and I kind of love it. I probably wouldn't do it at my own table, but I kind of love how they've done it. So what they've got in place is, when the DM deems that they've leveled up, he goes, okay, everybody, you have earned the right to level up, but you don't level up immediately. It is then up to the player to then decide when it makes narrative sense for their character to level up. I think it's sick. It's so cool. It's so cool. It's never quite felt right with me, but I understand that there's a sense of stability with just being like, yep, you level up between sessions, come back to the table next time, and your character is leveled up. I love the idea of you're in a bit of a bind. Your character needs to make a tough decision to advance. Like, I'm trapped. I don't like killing, but I'm going to have to fight my way out of this situation in order to survive. And in that moment of making that decision, you grant yourself the level up, and it feels like there's that narrative chapter, you know, like that, oh, I have made a meaningful step forward, or a step in a direction, and I've leveled up in the process. I don't know, it feels like it punches harder. Time for them to get into the shelter. Got a meteor storm and don't want your Goober and Goober to die. No, don't. No. Thought of similar method too. Give the character incremental increases when it matters. Yeah, that would be cool. But it's also you're also running the risk of giving yourself too much to stay on top of. Is the only fear. is the only fear. Plus, it's not as satisfying as like a, like a step up. It does give you. It's a cool idea, really, really, really cool idea. But like similarly to how I really appreciate what Brennan's doing, I still probably wouldn't use it at my own table. Cool concept though. I fear the burden on either the DM or the player to keep up with constant little increases. Hi Paradox, how you doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome. How's the world building going? But yeah, it's really cool. So the way that he's done it is he's sat everybody at the table, and he's said, okay, you have the ability to level up now. You have the ability to level up. You can make the decision whenever you like, whenever it feels pertinent, whenever it feels like it's appropriate for the situation. It can even be mid-combat. If you decide, I level up, and then I do go for like a dramatic swing with my weapon, you can do that. But they've done all of their planning ahead of time. So they're like, okay, I'm probably going to go for this or this as my next spell. I'll keep it loose so that if it feels more narratively appropriate at the time, I'll go with, option A. But they've narrowed down all of their choices. They've rolled for HP and everything. They've made all of their big decisions ahead of time so that in the moment when they feel like they're going to have a moment of heroism or a moment of redemption or a moment of narrative payoff, they can be like, "Yep, I'm ripping the cord. I'm leveling up. I'm doing the thing." Working on more characters and entities for Entitus? Hell yeah, hell yeah, hell yeah, hell yeah. Have you got a good stable of characters that you've had that you're adapting? Yeah, because you said before that it's a bunch of your characters that you made in your childhood, right? Is it a case of you're adapting all of the characters, or is it that you're adapting some of them and you're creating new ones as well? I am curious. Your paladin sorcerer who didn't know he's a sorcerer unlocked the new spells whenever they were relevant. Like, you got the level up, marked what he got, and just used the new stuff when it seemed fun. Yeah, no, that's cool. That's cool. That just feels like responsible storytelling. No, that sounds awesome. That's really cool. That there's at least 5 people. There are at least 5 people. Yeah, I think so. I know at least 5 people. I've at least heard of more than 5 people. How you going, Gav? How's your day been? Prepare yourselves, everyone. I have news. I have news from the world. You might want to be sitting for this one. People exist. No. Liar. You're a liar. It's true. It's true. People exist and they do things. Oh, God. Damn, yeah, exactly. Ugh. I was hoping that would not be the case. Poor Maximilian. Little though all Maximilian III, though all his sorcerer stuff was just gifts from his deity. What do you mean other paladins don't get cantrips? Glorious. Yeah, no, like you use cantrips all the time, don't you? Don't you? What do you mean? What? I'm of the camp where classes don't exist in the traditional sense, is how I tend to run my games. So somebody isn't a ranger, somebody's just really good at surviving in the wild and maybe has an animal companion and has a bow and arrow and stuff. Somebody wouldn't be a sorcerer, they would be born with gifts, you know? Same with like a fighter. They're not a fighter, they're a mercenary. They were raised with the blade. They extend it like they'd extend one of their limbs. I tend to find that takes the players out of exclusively looking at things through mechanics. But then again, if the players at the table can kind of disconnect from the D&D side of it and just like play their characters, I'm fine with people being like, yeah, I'm a fighter. I think that's fine. You like that a lot. Adds more adaptability to the story. It also feels more heroic in a sense, where your character doesn't feel like they've slotted into a slot. Like, I am the wizard one, you know? Which is what I find really cool about multi-classing, Tika, is that you become more than your class, you know? Like, stronger, but like you're not a paladin anymore. You're just like, you're an anomaly. You're a thing that can do stuff. It breaks you out of the mold. Goober and Neil had a baby. Oh, congratulations. A third little guy. Turned out his mum had a little tryst with an archfiend who was disguised as a kobold at the time. But there's a story for another time. Classic Zeus situation. God, that guy sucks. Oh, God. The amount of times in Greek mythology where it's like, oh, why does this hero exist? It's like, oh, well, you know, Zeus this one time. You're like, no, you don't have to finish. You don't have to finish that sentence. I know. I understand. I don't have to explain a thing. An eagle? An eagle that time? Yeah. Yeah. No, I get it. They feel more special? Yeah. Yep. Zeus a freak. Zeus getting his Zeus on. That's all I'll say. Sent a picture of their baby. The baby is massive. Has a mutation for fast growth. Oh, good lord. Yeah, the size of the sun. Huge. Strong baby. You're literally playing God of War 2 right now? I see. You're playing through the documentary. 99% of problems in Greek mythology, Zeus couldn't keep it in his pants. It's actually true, though. Literally, actually, for real. Raise your hand if Zeus is your father. Literally everyone raising their hands. Along those lines, I really enjoy Disney's Hercules, but I will never take it as an accurate interpretation of what Greek mythology is. One, because of all the modern references, but two, also because like Zeus is just Zeus is just a friendly guy. Like, he's just hanging out on Mount Olympus. He's just like partying with the gods, having a good time, just behaving himself. It's just like, oh, I wonder where my son is. No, Zeus was never like, I wonder where my son is. Zeus is like, I have children. Anyway. Awful. Absolutely awful. If Zeus had any self-control, there wouldn't be any mythology. That's true. No, that is a good... He makes a good catalyst, I suppose. Is Zeus the new Genghis Khan? Zeus is the old Genghis Khan. Disney Zeus. Just a happy little family guy. Jolly dad. Yeah, I just wish the best for my son. Oh, well done. No, the gods were kind of awful. The gods were kind of awful. Like, hey, I've decided to curse you with this thing because, like, frick you. I just don't look into what happened with Medusa. That's that curdles milk. Rots your eyeballs right out of your skull. It does. Would have been hilarious if Disney Zoo's backstory was, this is that one kid I spawned with my actual wife. I have to make sure he's safe to save my marriage. I don't know. I respect a story that doesn't shy away from some of the horrendous elements. Oh look, my wife is tormenting one of my 287 kids again for being jealous. Because I can't keep it in my pants. What's she doing now? Oh, making him murder his own wife and kids with madness curse. Oh well, can always make more. Yeah, exactly. Ugh. I mean, but that's the thing, right? Is everybody's obsessed with drama, right? And that's all the Greek pantheon was. It was just drama incarnate. At what point do you just divorce the guy? True. Get out of there. Me, apparently, because for those who didn't join me last night, because of time zones and stuff, I took the BuzzFeed "Which Greek God Are You?" quiz. Can anybody guess what my result was? I kind of gave it away a second ago, but for those who weren't fully paying attention, good. Can anybody guess which Greek god I was? Greek pantheon is like if you took a sorority house and a fraternity house, gave them all superpowers and made them live co-ed, made a reality show out of it. Literally, yeah. Athena would have been good. Was it Zeus? It was not Zeus. Thank Zeus it was not Zeus. Thank Zeus it was not Zeus. Hermes? Oh, Hermes would have been sick. All right. It was Aphrodite. I literally started the quiz with, I mean, I'd be happy with like an Aphrodite or a Dionysus or Dionysus or whatever. But actually, Aphrodite, she's kind of more like about, like sexual freedom and stuff. That's not quite my speed. Like all for sexual freedom and all that jazz. It's just not my vibe, So probably not Aphrodite. And then immediately after that, I was rewarded for my effort, apparently. Well, I am pretty. That fits. Yeah, I guess. I was told afterwards that my Achilles heel moment, the thing that really locked me into the selection, was that I picked Leo as my star sign, which I am. Apparently, my star sign is Leo, but apparently Leos are known for being incredibly vain and like appearance focused. So there we go. Locked in. Locked in.
Mahali, you saucy little minx.
Yeah, apparently so. Apparently so. Apparently Hades is the only one who is worth a damn. Dude doesn't cheat on his wife, takes his job seriously, and actually does it and stays out of 90% of the drama. True, but Hades has been known to just kind of give somebody a trial. Be like, here you go, here's a trial. Have a trial. I mean, to be fair, though, the situation with Eurydice and Orpheus was very much so like, no, I'm pretty sure he like seduced Eurydice in that particular case. It's a little bit culpable. Very much so culpable. But also, like, he gave them the trial because they were trying to leave the underworld, and people don't tend to leave the underworld. That's not a thing. It's against the rules. So the trial aspect of it, not really his fault. If anything, he's a real he's a real god for for allowing them that trial, I suppose. The seducing Eurydice into the underworld to begin with, that's kind of more of a problem. Hades is one of the villainized. Yeah, I suppose he does get a worse rap given that he's supposed to be a chill dude. Like, everybody's kind of supposed to be kind of cool with Hades. I don't know. Of all the gods give trials. Most of the time the trials are rigged against them. Hades is like, yeah, this trial is nearly impossible, but if you do it, I'll hold my end of the bargain. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Like, the lesser of all the evils. That's a good point. Just a heads up. We'll be getting an ad notification pretty soon. As soon as that ad notification comes in, I'm going to swoop in. I'm going to turn off my ads completely, but that'll mean that pre-rolls will start setting in pretty soon afterwards. So as soon as that ad sets in, like the ad warning sets in, I'm going to have to start wrapping up stream pretty soon. Pretty soon. I have rocks to climb. I need to make it back up to the purple difficulty. Climbing rocks like IRL? Yeah. Yep. Bouldering specifically. So when people say rock climbing, they're generally talking about top roping, where you've got a rope secured to the ceiling and you hook yourself up and you've got somebody helping you with the ropes down the bottom called a belayer. And you use the rope as assistance in case you fall off to climb up to the ceiling. Bouldering is where the wall height isn't nearly as tall, and you go without a rope. You go without a rope completely. You're Aries? Fair. So that's why you keep declaring war on me. That's making a lot of sense now, actually. A few things are starting to line up. Epic. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I was describing earlier that I've struggled for a while to find a way to stay in shape that's actually engaging. And rock climbing has kind of just been the miracle drug for me. I make love, you make war. Yeah, no, that's fair. So all is fair between the two of us. It's just the scene from The Dark Knight where the Joker is like, you complete me. But we're both the Joker. Beautiful. Beautiful.
there's the ads notification. I need to swoop in and deactivate this, which means we have how much time? Heck, we've got a minute. We've got a minute, so I'll start wrapping up now. Thanks for hanging out, everyone. So it's a slightly shorter stream than usual. It's the ad setup kind of played up a little bit again, so I had to play it a little bit fast and loose. Joker beatbox meme play, yeah, exactly. Planet Prime is finished with everything, but 100% terraformation, and now Humble is the same. Time to move on to a new planet and work on the next one while continuing to terraform. Good luck. Good luck, good luck, good luck. Thanks for hanging out, everyone. I hope you had a good time. I hope you enjoyed the chaotic conversations. We're getting super close to finish with this one. We won't be working on it tomorrow because it'll be community canvas tomorrow. But early next week, frick, ads are playing anyway. Early next week, we'll continue with this one. Thanks for hanging out. Have an excellent rest of your day or night, depending on where you are. Look after yourselves. I'll catch you tomorrow. Bye, everybody. Bye. Wrong button.